We're live.
You are live. That's right. Hey, welcome to Escrow Tuesdays. My name is Charles Swanberg, Caimeiju Realty, and my co-host there next to me is...
Yes, Nguyen from Tower Escrow.
And today you're Tower Escrow and Tri-County. County. That's a big old... Okay, well, I don't know what that really means. But hey, today we got a special guest all the way from the great Northwest. We have the amazing Jordan Lee. Jordan, how the heck are you?
Good. Thanks so much for having me on. I'm super excited. I've been following your blog for a while now, and
that's right.
A lot of fun.
Episode 24. I don't know if that's a good luck number, but there we have it. Almost halfway. We are committed to doing this for at least 52 episodes, and until we change our minds and wonder why we're so crazy about doing this.
But we have too many guests. That's why.
That's right. Yeah, we actually are completely scheduled up to the 52nd episode. And a few people that we scheduled that we didn't even tell them yet. But so far, I'm not kidding. So far, nobody has refused an invitation or even the time I suggested, because we do it in advance. But anyway, we're very grateful to all our guests. And on the 52nd episode, we're going to have all the guests that were on return in kind of a mashup fun fest with Brian on as the 52nd guest. Ooh, secret out there. Anyway, hey, Jordan, what is going on? And as you know, anything can happen in escrow. We're hoping that we're going to get surprised and have a lot of fun here in this interview. So Jordan, tell us about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm Jordan. As you know, I'm from the Willamette Valley. I grew up in Salem, Oregon, and I've lived here most of my life. When it came to college time, I was like, I need to get the heck out. So I went to the Midwest, went to a small liberal arts college called Grinnell College in Iowa, small town, about 9,000 people. So I lived in rural Iowa for 4 years, and then after that, I took a fellowship to go teach English in China for a year after that.
Nice. I always wanted to do that. Shoot. Oh well.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know what I wanted to do at the time. I had a double major in Chinese and anthropology. It was like right in the middle of the recession. All my friends were becoming lawyers or going into investment banking, and I was like, well, I guess I'm going to go to China and teach English.
Yeah, I mean, you could have started an Amway kind of distribution setup. You could have, maybe, I don't know, gone to Peace Corps, joined the Army, but you decided to teach, English in China.
Yeah, it was a great kind of gap year where I was sort of figuring out what I wanted to do, and it was also a nice experience living abroad. It helped me, further my language capacity, and also just it's a great opportunity to see what your own culture is like by living in another culture. So that's what I got out of that experience for sure. And then after that, I came back to Portland. I was ready to become a chef, knew what I wanted to do, went straight into
more on that later.
Yeah, went straight into culinary school, which is a short program. I think it was 8 months, and that might have even included the unpaid internship deal. And after that, I started working in fine dining, kind of Frenchy Italian restaurants. Did that for 6 years before.
Frenchy Italian, I like that. Today,
Frenchy Italian with a Northwest twist. Local ingredient focus, yeah, Northwest twist. So that's what I did for 6 years, and then then finally I made the move to real estate. Started doing mortgage finance. I joined the loan officer, she trained me, the one that did my loan.
Wait a minute, Jordan. We're missing a significant part of your life there.
Why
come over to Portland and suddenly you're in real estate. No,
I know.
Don't Cindy Hansen us, okay?
Yeah. So you were a chef for 6 years, and then why the sudden change? I mean, 6 years, that's a pretty good run for.
Yeah, I mean, great question. I love cooking, and I still cook. I make sourdough bread and pizza, and I like cooking Korean food, Chinese food, you name it. But cooking is a great lifetime skill. It's hard to make a good career out of that will go with like that. When you want to raise a family, it's hard to have those two together. So I got to the point in my career in cooking where if I wanted to continue like growing, for me, it's hard to be doing something where I can't learn more, I can't grow more. And so I kind of reached a plateau where it was like, okay, next step is to own your own restaurant. Right. And, I'd been like very hyper focused on fine dining. So I researched, what it was like to own a restaurant, got some business coaching with SCORE, and was like, okay. So I had a mentor that was telling me, all right, here's what it's like to buy a business. And so we found someone that wanted to sell us a business. And I looked at the books, and then first I figured out it was going to cost me about, if I wanted to buy a building, I needed to put 50% down on 1.5 million. Because for me, I was like, I need to own the real estate and the business. And the bank's like, okay, yeah, sure, we'll do that for you. Just come in with 50%. And I was like, oh, okay. So now I was like, okay, beg, borrow, and steal, try and come up with that huge amount of capital, GoFundMe, whatever, and like just go all in. Or like maybe there's something else I want to do. Maybe I don't want to be working, because when you're running a small restaurant, fine dining, you got to be there all the time.
Yeah, you live and breathe in. Yeah.
If you're lucky, your margins are 10%, and the reason that you get those margins is because you're there, you're managing, you're running the kitchen, and you're also marketing. So it's not something that's like super scalable,
right?
But it's it's a lot of joy, it's a lot of fun, and a lot of intrinsic value. But if you want to like spend time with your family, I don't know. That's for me was kind of like, well, I like cooking. Is there anything else that I can do?
Hey, remember that story with Andrew Peters, right? He was kind of along the same thing. He was going to start a restaurant. He was a chef and a cook, right? Remember?
But that was a different one. His wife said,
He said, real estate. You're doing real estate. Okay.
That's not going to bring enough. So, yeah.
Sorry, I had to go to the cargo hold and calm the prisoners down here in the Crest. If you're just joining us, we are live on Facebook with Jordan Lee from Portland, Oregon. My co-host here, Narhee Nguyen, and we've got a few more interesting questions to ask, which will get us hopefully interesting answers. Anyway, go ahead with your real estate career, I guess it was.
Yeah, so you transitioned in after much thinking, yes.
Yeah, so I made the switch. I knew I wanted to be in finance, so I kind of thought about financial advisor, and I also thought about being a real estate agent. And then I also reached out to because I had a great experience doing my mortgage, and I kind of look back at that as like a pivotal change in my finances was when I bought my home back in 2012, like right when homes were affordable and rates were low. My parents were like, well, your grandma just passed, and do you want to take your inheritance now for a down payment, or do you want to take it when we die? And I was like, I don't know. Sure, I'll buy a home, I guess. I mean, I'm making $11 an hour. Can I buy a home?
Well, you always ask a realtor, when should I buy? And of course, the best answer as a realtor you give them is now.
Yeah, and it turned out to be a great investment. It changed my life, and I realized that like, hey, I liked doing that. Was a great experience for me. I'd like to give that experience to other people. I have this long-term plan of building passive income through real estate investment. Buy a house every few years, and then just by the time I retire, have a portfolio of 5 or 6 homes that are bringing in passive income, and if I need to, can sell off as kind of a hedge against, your other 401k and IRA stuff.
Right.
And I was like,
well, I just saw Priska Lee chiming in on your Facebook Live feed, and we've got Sunny Chan saying, "What's up?" From the kind of Northwest in some sense, but Priska's all the way northern New Jersey. Holy moly!
Priska, she's the edge leader, right?
Yeah, there you go. Edge. We're going to actually highlight, or actually we're going to plug the Edge event later. Don't worry, Krista.
Yeah, they got some events coming up.
Yeah,
yep, that's
so
true.
It is interesting, right? You kind of do the real estate, because I started real estate after I bought my first house, like, hey, I could do this, or, that kind of thing. But just think, Jordan, on your path to accumulating these properties, when you do retire, then you become a full-time property manager. So
I'm
slowly accumulating and buying a job, you know.
I'll let someone.
My hot water shut off. Oh my God, you know. Well, explain a little bit more though about your now. Well, you got into then mortgage banking, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I joined the company that did my mortgage. It was a small.
That's so cool.
I know, he went right back to the source.
Yeah. You know, if you can't beat him, join him, I guess. Give me a lower rate. Give me a lower rate. Give me a lower rate. All right, I'll join your company.
No, it's funny because like the person that did my loan, she also owns a restaurant. And so, and my wife was like, well, maybe you should reach out to her. She sent us this mailer about this restaurant she opened with a coupon for it. Like, you know, give her a call and see if she'll sit down with you. And then like, I talked with her and then I was like, okay. And then 2 weeks later, I got my license while I was still on the other job. And then I shadowed her and she's like, oh, at first it didn't seem like I'd be able to get hired, but then they're like, okay, you know, you can come and make minimum wage and we'll pay you for 20 hours a week and making minimum wage. And then we'll give you a percentage of the deals that you close. And I was like, well, that's more or less how it started for me in cooking. Well, may as well.
So you gotta start somewhere.
Started from a coupon. Maybe we should try that.
Yeah.
AREAA coupons. That's right. Yeah. You get double coupons or something, right?
So how long has it been since then?
So it's been 5 full years. This is the start of my 6th year now.
Well, so you've been going at it like when it's all good and roses and then it's ramping up here. You have no time to, you know, I'm surprised you even have time to do this. You know, you got probably files going up and going crazy on it. But,
I do have a few files to submit today. That's true. And I'm trying to figure out how to hire someone to do paperwork. I hired someone last year and it didn't work out. So I'm going to retry that again. But you're right. Timing is everything in real estate. It seems like I started at a time when rates had just dropped kind of like now. And so I only did 6 deals in my first year because I was super focused on learning. And of those, like, I think 4 of them were refinances from friends that I knew from high school, where it was like, hey, look, you can save $200, $300 a month. I'll knock off your mortgage insurance and lower your rate by 1%. Does that sound like a good idea?
Yeah.
Hey, so I noticed you have is that a hockey sweater?
Oh, hockey? Come on.
Wait, I'm sorry. I'm just
this
joking.
This is a Portland Trailblazer sweater. I mean, I know we're a small market team, but we do make the playoffs.
Actually, Priska says it's snowing in New Jersey, so I don't know if it's snowing in Portland. Probably raining there. All right, so you're rocking and rolling in mortgage, and you're busy as heck, and you're barely able to hire people. And so, how did you find AREAA, or did AREAA come find you?
No, that's a great question. So, one of the awesome things about Portland is it's still a smaller city, and everyone does business through relationships. Right. And for me, like I'm not the guy that's going to sit and burn the phone and be like, hey, I saw you did 30 deals last year. How about you give me one of those?
Hey, that's Dan King. He said howdy here. That Dan King's on the phone. You try to call him, he's on 3 other lines. So
yeah, that's not me.
Everyone has a different style.
Yeah, I'm more of a face-to-face person. So my first year or two, like really 2 years, it was like go to as many networking events as possible, meet as many people as possible. And I was going to a different charity event and I met actually Paul Tricarn, who was like, hey, you should come to this AREAA luncheon and vibe with the group pretty quickly. There was a good mix of younger and older agents. And
yeah, Paul's a cool guy. I always mispronounce his last name. I even asked him specifically, Paul, how do you say your last name? He told it to me and I immediately forgot afterwards. Anyway, but
yeah, Tricarn, yeah. No, he's great. And so yeah, and and for me it was like, oh great, yeah, perfect group. The mission aligns with why I'm in the business. And so that kind of was the start. And I think it was the second year in real estate that I joined, and I haven't looked back since. Yeah.
Wow. Ritu has also joined us on Facebook Live. Hi, Ritu. She wants to make sure you get punished with our questions. You know?
Did you punish
But
her?
she did great last
Yeah,
session.
she did great. We were easy on her though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so all right, so you're getting there. You're going to events, and got good old buddy Paul. Thank you, Paul. But I mean, there's a difference between going to events and then being a member, one of possibly 17,000 or so, and then you're suddenly chapter president. There's only 41 of you guys right now, so that fraction is pretty tiny. So how did you somehow get there? I mean, who sat you down to say, Jordan,
Yeah, that's a good
you're
question.
gonna have to be the president?
Yeah, I think it was really a tag team between Alex, Fan, and Tony to go, both
Right.
past presidents. It was
Right.
kind of like, I feel like it's kind of at a gala or something in the bathroom. It's like succession planning. Who's up next? Type of thing, like.
So that they locked the bathroom door from the outside. And
I mean, we're a small group, and we're always looking for new leadership. That's the great thing about Portland. There's tons of leadership roles available.
Right.
We're not a big, like the Bay Area, super competitive type thing. We're here for us. We're just trying to empower people and, bring on new leaders. So.
Right. So obviously you guys don't go out to the golf course. It's because it's always raining. So you decide to do deals in the men's bathroom. Okay. Maybe a gender neutral bathroom.
Oh gosh.
That's funny. Just look up where Portland ranks on like the rainiest cities in the country, and you'll be surprised. We typically have 60 to 70 days in the summer where there's zero measurable rain. So it's kind of like 6 months of beautiful weather and 6 months of rainy interspersed with snow and sunshine. So really, there's plenty of time for golf here.
I flew in there one time because a friend of mine was buying a classic car. I was buying like this, like completely restored Jaguar. So I kind of tagged along with him. Of course, it was raining. We rented some crappy rent-a-car and went out there. And I'm like thinking, how do people deal with this? It's raining all the time, but of course it's not all the time. I mean, Japan is one of the most rainiest countries, and there's plenty of days where there's sunshine there. So, all right. So we've got so basically then it's Tony and Paul that really kind of got you to drink what little baby Yoda there's
what like, Jordan just drank.
AREAA Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
That's cool RT. Come on.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Hey, Audra.
I went to the leadership conference. I think that was like when they encouraged me to go to the leadership conference. After my first year, that was when I really started finding a lot of value in our person.
Yeah, and that's where I met you, at that bar over there, or restaurant or whatever it was called. We were kind of hanging out there. I remember Dan King showed up in these like orange sunglasses. He looked like a rock star god. Like, who is that guy? But that's fantastic. All right, well, thanks for sharing us your AREAA story. Everyone's got one. There's a common denominator, right, Narhee? There's always some instigators that kind of corner people. It's rarely does someone come out of the blue go, I want to be president. Where's the chapter,
Yeah, there's always someone seeking those talents. And when they see it, right, you got to snatch it. So Jordan, congrats, and you will do awesome. Now switching gears here. We have our Escrow Tuesday shows for a reason, and that's to share those crazy escrow stories, or maybe in your case, a different one.
No, they actually have escrow there in Portland, right? Now, some of these states, like in New Jersey and New York, they got these closing attorneys. So
yeah, we're not an attorney state. We do have escrow. Man, crazy escrow stories.
Oh yeah.
Well, just recently I had a client. It was my first reverse mortgage, and older guy, and it's like,
hey.
And great client. I did
great client.
Yeah, I did an investment property for him like 3 or 4 years ago. He called me about refinance, and we looked at his options, and he's like, and we talked about a reverse mortgage as well. And it ended up, the difference in cash flow was like $1,000 per month for him. And so for him, it made a lot of sense. He's on fixed income. And so the escrow, and the reason I thought of this because you talked about escrow, and they call him for the signing, and it's Chris. I think it was Christmas Eve, and escrow is just crazy busy right now because because volume and refinance is up a ton, but also because everyone has to get notaries right now. I mean, I don't know how it is in other states, but for the most part, everyone's doing notaries, and it's always like, hey, I need a notary today. And
I need a notary in 10 minutes. Or
yeah, or that.
In LA, that's like future planning,
Right. And so, and we're like, okay, we talked. You know how the communication triangle is. It's always like it's never direct enough as you want it to be. And so we're scheduling the signing, and it's like, okay, they'll contact you sometime between 11 and 4, and they call him at like 7, and they're like, hey, can we come by at 8:30? And he's like, hell no, you can't. He was super pissed, and then escrow calls.
Well, he was already in REM sleep by now.
Escrow called me the next day, and he was like, this guy yelled at us, and I was like, oh, he's just a little bit upset, and no big deal. And so that's a typical thing where it's like, a little bit late, and everyone gets a little bit afraid, especially around the holidays. So, but hey, ended up working out.
So he didn't come out with a shotgun and spray you, or what happened?
No, he did ask me to refund his counseling fee because I didn't very clearly explain it to him. So
a counseling fee,
yeah, which
I
immediately did refund him for because
wow.
But yeah, that's fine. So.
Well, there you go. Don't bother old people past 7 p.m. After they've had their blue light, dinner at Denny's or whatever, I guess.
Okay,
I'm gonna get a lot of hate email after this, but I am old too. But that's been a challenge. We were involved in a video notary simply because we couldn't get the people face to face, especially with COVID and all kinds of issues. So that's been an option. In some states allow it, and some states will allow other states to notarize your document in the
remote online notary. You're talking about remote online notarization.
Right.
Yeah, California doesn't allow it, does it, Narhee?
It does not, but we have a way. And if you guys want to know how, join us on the next upcoming episode of Escrow Tuesdays.
Yeah, Oregon allows it. My company actually right now, we do half in-person signing and half electronic signing. So like you sign the note electronically and about half of the documents. We're doing hybrid eventually.
Right. Yeah, the tough thing is how do you sign a grant deed remotely? Well, you kind of can and you kind of can't. You still need that original document, especially also the trust deed, I would imagine. So, wow. All right. Well, thanks for sharing. Moral of the story is on a reverse mortgage, get the signing done before 3 p.m. before the guy the family takes a long nap, right?
Older gentleman, yes.
So bad, I don't know.
It wasn't the first time I talked him down either, so.
Looking good. Yes, here we go.
And looking new. I like our new slide. We don't have to revert to the old one. Jordan, what do you think I said that made her look that way at me? Who knows what it was.
You must have, hard to say. I think you were talking about her and one of her pets. I think you offended her pretty good there.
Or maybe she was talking one of my pets or what one of my pets did. Anyway, anything can happen in escrow. Thanks for sharing. We have Jordan Lee here, the Portland chapter president. And of course, one of the things that he did touch on is Jordan Lee in his culinary outfit there. That's a pretty good standard issue, I guess.
And sometimes you got to be careful what you put on Facebook, I guess.
Hey, you put it on there. We're coming for you.
That shirt is from college. We had a Chinese basketball team, and that's what it says.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we see the fine, was that called hygiene back there for the restaurants? There you got some back in.
Well,
the food service industry is just they're just gonna frown.
The key is to get to know your inspector, so they'll tell you before they come. And then
don't leave your shoes down there. Right? There you go. Well, we will now. Whoa, look at those weapons back there up on the wall. Holy moly.
I know. I was looking
Very
at
serious.
that.
Those
All
are
right.
all the way from Hong Kong. I bought them when in Hong Kong. You know, I saw these guys making spare ribs and just, you know, sitting squatted down with their tree stump.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
boom, boom, boom. And I was like, well, I guess I need that. And I mean, it was like $15. This knife maker is a famous knife maker, CCK. And it's funny, like I've watched the price. When I first got back, you could still buy those cleavers for like $30, I think, shipping included, and now they're like over 70, the smaller ones.
Well, especially now, people are just sitting at home cooking, you know.
Yeah, you know, the brand just got recognition now.
Right. All right. Well, here we go. We now are going to have a Jordan's top 5, you know, and why Portland. You know, Jordan is kind of, whenever I think of Jordan, I think of, you know, the rapper Ali G. You know, Ali G, right? Well, he was in the UN, and he looked at it and he goes, Jordan, and he goes, why does a basketball star get his own seat in the UN? Anyway, that's another story. All right.
Okay, Charles.
Let's go to number 1. All right. Access to the outdoors. I mean, come on. You open the door and go out. What do you mean by that?
Well, what Oregon, Portland is known for is that you could, in the same day, you could start on the beach, you could go surfing, and then you start on the beach, go surfing, take the highway east, go through Portland, go to Hood River, get there, go kiteboarding on the river, and then and then head over to the mountain, and then, you know, spend your late afternoon, evening snowboarding.
And that's on Mount Hood, right?
Yeah, Mount Hood, Mount Bachelor. There's more than a few mountains that you could. I mean, yeah, Mount Hood is the famous one, and it's like less than an hour from Portland. So I think that's kind of. I mean, the beach is an hour away. The mountains are an hour away. We've got everything.
An hour away.
Yeah, I thought in LA we were the only ones that had that, where you could be literally on the beach, and, you know, 2 hours later you could be skiing slushy. But, you know,
there's skiing there. Are you sure?
I am absolutely sure. Yes, I'm old and I still ski, Jordan. I don't.
Oh, okay. I didn't know there was skiing there.
Yeah, no, there are several mountains on Big Bear that are there, and there's snow there right now. I mean, lately we haven't had a ton of, you know, snow, but it's cold enough to make, you know, I guess man-made snow. So
yeah, we got a good amount last night. Yeah. So one of my hobbies is scrapbooking. So I'm really curious about creative scene. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, you know, the saying is that in Portland, if you throw a stone, you're going to hit a graphic designer or a cook. So, and
just like Japan, when you throw snow and you hit a Suzuki, you know.
Yeah.
All right.
Exactly. So Nike is there, and Adidas has a big campus there, and Columbia is there. So it's like you've got a ton of graphic design people there that, you know, start their own firms, smaller firms, and just a lot of that kind of talent there. There's a lot of musicians in Portland, a lot of artists. I mean, you can go to shows, well, back when shows were available, pretty cheap. Like, you know, I've seen some pretty cool musicians, like, you know, really close up, because it's just a smaller city, which is great. And, you know, everyone's kind of into cooking and that type of thing. There's just a nice creative scene, was what I like.
I mean, how different is it then from Seattle? Because, you know, that's also somewhat known as that kind of scene, but I think Portland's its own kind of thing, right?
Yeah, I think Seattle's a little more corporate. There's just there's a lot more corporations in Seattle,
right.
And a lot bigger, and I mean, the price point's still double in Seattle than it is in Portland. I mean,
well, and speaking of price,
yeah, so I mean, Portland is definitely appreciated a lot, like everywhere else in the nation, but at this point, you know, Portland's still by far the cheapest city on the West Coast that has like a, you know, a real airport and real city services. So, I mean, I think that's going to continue to draw people to Portland. Is that, you know, if you want to be on the West Coast, and you want to be in a city and you want to have some measure of affordability, you're probably going to be in Portland.
Well, and you got that harbor setting, kind of like the San Francisco Bay. You got in Seattle in some sense, you know. In LA, we're somewhat landlocked unless you get all the way out to the edge of the, you know, the ocean. So Yeah.
Yeah, the water is not like Seattle where you've got the Puget Sound where you've got the big, still water. But the Willamette runs right through Portland. Like, so we do dragon boating. I'm on a dragon boat team that
Nice.
Oh, that's
Hey, that's coming up. That's coming up soon, right?
that's so awesome.
I wish it was. It's canceled. It's canceled again this year, the Rose Festival. So, but yes, typically it's in June.
Oh, it's in June. I thought it was earlier. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
when the weather's nice.
So we got the price, the outdoors, and then now we have the seasons.
Is my Chinese correct?
Yeah, that's right.
I was wondering what that was.
Yeah, so in the seasons, what I would say there is that everyone talks about their weather. So in Portland, we get all 4 seasons. It's in the summer it's hot and dry and nice out. And then in the winter, it's cold, it rains, and then it almost always snows. And sometimes we'll get sometimes we'll get a foot every 3 or 4 years, and sometimes it's just a couple inches. And then the spring and the fall are just perfect.
So basically, it's either cold and raining, hot and raining, snow and raining, and no, I'm just kidding.
Oh gosh.
No, it doesn't rain in the summer, and there's like a 6-month stretch where it doesn't rain here. It's
well, I think that's a great misconception to kind of bust or myth the bust, right? That we always think the Pacific Northwest is you're basically using an umbrella the entire time. The city should be underground or something, but
no, and it's true. There's a lot of snowbirds, that will leave during. They're not as bad as.
Where do they go?
Arizona,
Yeah. I'm in the middle of summer. Scottsdale is like, a ghost town, but in the winter, and everyone's over there. Well, all right. Well, and lastly, we've got people care.
Like Jordan.
Yeah, I was kind of alluding earlier to Portland being a relation-based business city, town, whatever you want to call it. I mean, all my clients and realtors that I work with, I know. As I know them, their families, and
hey, Liza Fong cares. She's actually watching with you.
Hey, Liza,
Portland in the house.
She's actually, she's got some Toisan roots, just like me. And a lot of the media that you see around Portland, what everyone's talking about right now is the protests. So I don't want to dodge that. And I think
we'll get to that soon. We have a next segment for you. Don't worry.
And I think what you can say about that is if you live in Portland, A, that it's constricted to a very small area. B, the buildings that were on fire were actually trash cans. And C, there's some tolerance for it because a lot of these people care about what they're protesting for. And yes, it's caused a lot of issues for businesses, and I'm not going to go deep into that, but I think along the vein is that people care about their city, and if you wanted to be in politics in Portland, you could get in politics. It's not like trying to get into politics in a big city in New York or something like that. If you put in the time, you can do it.
Yeah, and I mean, how would you rate the friendliness kind of factor in Portland? SETI, up in Vancouver, I mean, you can't deny it. They're a pretty darn friendly bunch. And then Seattle's pretty friendly to some degree. How does Portland rate?
I mean, I think people are super nice in Portland. I mean, of course, it depends.
People care.
Yeah, people care. When people aren't afraid to ask other people for directions, and people are always nice about that. It's not like when you're in New York and if you bump into someone, they're going to be like, hey, get out of my space.
Wow, you New Yorkers. Hear that?
That's just at least was my experience when I was in New York. I was kind of shocked, but yeah, I mean, it's
not
a smaller
so
city, so it's more of a community.
Yeah.
All right, Jordan, thank you very much for your top 5. I didn't realize that, it's one of the more affordable coastal kind of, West Coast kind of destinations. And I always wanted to, go back to Portland. I was there maybe about 10 years ago. So I hope we have something, all you need to do, Jordan, is become the next AREAA, national president. We can have a gala there, So that's one way to get it out there, Jordan. So, a couple more years, put your name in the hat and let's get going. All right. So you talked about how Portland, and you've got some issues with, on TV, the whole building was on fire, but you claim a trash can. So how apt is this next segment? Narhee and Jordan, are you ready?
Oh,
all right. Even Narhee has all right. Here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go. Jordan Lee's controversial political views. Man, we do some digging. Oh, yeah. He's got
getting a little bit
he
sensitive
speaks
here.
his mind whenever there's a chance. And of course, we're just kidding. Escape the bullet again. One of these days, Narhee, we're just going to go with it. We're just going to pin him to that. All right.
Maybe the last one where we don't have anything to lose.
Yeah. So here we are with, we're going to stay with a little politics, and we're going to go through Jordan's AREAA presidential knowledge quiz. Yeah, Jordan's met them all, and this will kind of help us with, recognizing them, and it's tied to something specifically that you'll see. So here we go. Ready? All right. Who is that iconic figure?
That is.
Maybe you don't recognize her with the long hair and glasses.
I don't recognize her.
All right. Well, that is Esther Chow. She's going to be on episode 31. She is the incoming 2021 president of AREAA Tri-County. Who is that pretty face?
I'm so bad at names. You picked the wrong person to do this.
All right, well,
or the right
kind
person.
of maybe an area of the United States. Hey, you've got a 1 in 41. No, you got a 1 in 40 chance, since you're the president.
Maybe
of
the
Portland.
chapters.
Bay Area.
Close. Orange County. Right, not even close. That is Julie Tran. She's going to be on episode.
Julie. Yes, Julie.
All right, here we go. Somebody in your kind of like generation.
Yeah, I know her too. I'm so bad. See,
that's a good start. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm a face person, not a name. Cindy.
All right, that is Cindy Tran, probably a sister from another mother. I don't know what you call that. She's the president from LA Coastal, episode 26. And of course, we have this person.
Whoa, watch out for that tiger.
Yeah, she's going to kill me by me posting this. And she goes, I'm a tiger. All right. All right. Well, that is Chika Mori. She's the incoming president for Silicon Valley. And what's great that you don't know these people, because these are fresh new faces. And that's the whole point of the show, is to really kind of show that. And I'm going to tie all this thing together. We got 2 more folks to go. Who is that?
That I don't recognize that.
Yeah, well, that is Agnes Santos. She's the incoming president for Inland Empire. Where is Inland Empire? Well, it is inland, part of the Los Angeles area.
I'll never understand the demographics of California.
All right, how could you forget this face?
Yeah, that's what's her name?
I don't know. We're going to be
not doing well on this quiz.
All right,
but
well,
that's
anyway,
okay. That's the whole, the
right,
beauty of this show.
That is Narhee Vu. She is the Twin Cities chapter. And Narhee, can you guess what all of these people have in common?
I believe we're all getting installed.
That's right. Well, before we install them, don't forget to like us and subscribe on our YouTube channel, Facebook Live, and whatnot. As we said many, many times, we're trying to monetize this. And we're about 1 million subscribers away from having 1 million subscribers. So go figure. All right. Well, going back to our 6 folks that Jordan was able to identify, we've got a crazy gala schedule. We really do. And it all starts Thursday, excuse me. Is it? What day is today? Oh, it's Tuesday.
Today's Tuesday.
Escrow Tuesdays, huh? All right. All right, so the first stop is going to be the Inland Empire on Thursday. That's 12 noon Pacific Standard Time, and that was with help me out here, Narhee.
What are you doing?
IE is
Inland Empire's Agnes.
Agnes Santos, right? And then
where is Twin Cities?
That is Minnesota.
That's Minnesota. Okay,
that's where Prince had a studio.
I didn't know we had a Twin Cities chapter.
Well, that's where Escrow Tuesdays comes in, Jordan.
Yeah,
we tell you everything you need to know. All right,
that's right. Near where I went to college.
Right, and then that is 2 p.m. That's 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and then we have the AREAA Orange County, and Twin Cities, that's Nayli Vu that we saw earlier in the picture. And then we have the Orange County virtual installation, that's Julie Tran.
Yep.
And that's going to be at 4. So you've got 3 galas to zoom in on. And not only do you have 3 galas, you also have the Edge event that's shoehorned in there at 2 p.m. So forget about your loans, Jordan. You're just zooming all day tomorrow. Or I mean,
Oh yeah, I signed up for that. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, there you go. You got the iPhone and you have your laptop open. There you go.
All right. And then we're not done yet. We got Friday, which has even 3 more galas. So we've got the Tri-County Gala. That was Esther Chow earlier, who's the incoming president there at 12 p.m. noon. And then, before you could even grab a coffee or a bathroom break, it's straight to LA Coastal, which we have, we have Cindy Tran as the incoming president at 1 p.m. And then we'll give you a little break for a late lunch, and we'll go to the Silicon Valley installation, which is happening at 4:30.
Wow, the trifecta, huh?
So you've got 7 Zooms here and a few more to go. And so, yeah, I mean, show your support. I know a lot of the folks that are checking in on Facebook Live and you'll see on YouTube, support your other local chapters. They need you. All right. We can still kind of continue this guessing game, but Jordan, any thoughts?
Why are you putting him on the spot?
I know. Well, we're trying to get you. All right, that's Tina Lombard, Greater Denver. She's going to be on our show next week. She's an amazing talent. This person that we already saw a few times, that's Cindy Tran, and she's going to be installed tomorrow. Oh no, on Thursday, excuse me. She'll be on from LA Coastal. And then we have
Mindy.
Sorry. The 2 sisters from Orange County. We've got Julie Tran and Mindy Long from that chapter, and they're going to be the dynamic duo, and we're probably going to go an hour and a half on that show because they've got a lot to say.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So Jordan, here you are. These are the folks that get to follow in your greatness and footsteps. I don't know how they're going to do it, but they will have to.
I know.
All right. And last but not least, this was, I love this photo because you see Dan King there. Can you name all these people?
All of them. Let's see.
Alex Lago,
right? And what is his name? Vin?
Moni.
That's right. Yeah, Moni. And what's her name?
Wow.
We're gonna have to wear name tags in front of Jordan.
Okay. Well, we'll just stop right there. Hey, here's the instigator that got you in, right?
Paul.
Yeah, you got Paul, and I'm sure Brian helped you out. You got Ace.
Brian,
I don't know who this knucklehead is.
Who's that guy? I definitely don't recognize.
Look at that, you're photobombing behind me. That's
yeah.
Hilarious. You got Carmen Chung, of course.
Yeah.
And then we have later on, he showed up with a plate of waters and a bath towel. Remember?
Yeah,
that was hilarious. Anyway, hey Jordan, anything to plug? Any events coming out of Portland, or do you have your gala that's kind of set?
We did our gala at the end of the year already.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, we did the wine tasting. So
that's right. I was there. Sorry.
Yeah.
But anything else coming up? Any maybe a Lunar New Year kind of event or anything?
Normally I have my my dumpling party where I invite all my
friends. That's what Ritu was mentioning. And by the way, Liza Fong wants it sent to her, I guess.
Oh, she does. Well, I'll send her a video. I mean, if she wants, but she can come. She can come visit. I know.
I was kind of wondering what she was mentioning about that. So I guess
you make the dumplings.
Yeah, so like every year I have my client appreciation party, and we make like 600 dumplings, and then make some other food, and people come over and just have a good time. But this year I'm gonna try and make a video of how we make the dumplings and send it out to people so they can do it on their own.
All right. Well, we're looking forward to that. Maybe we could kind of, pivot into another cooking show or something. Set it up maybe on episode 53. Well, Jordan, hey, thanks a lot for coming on the show. We love to showcase new talent, new leadership, and find out about you, and hopefully the audience got to know a little bit more about Jordan Lee, the AREAA Portland, Oregon chapter president. Thank you very much and congratulations.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, here we are on Escrow Tuesdays next week. Don't forget, we got Tina Lombard from the Greater Denver chapter will be on. She might sing a few songs for us. She is very musically talented, although I see Jordan's collection of axes back there probably belies his talent. Anyway, thank you again for joining us. I'll see you next Tuesday. See you guys later.
Yes.
Bye.